Greetings! I am Sean Redman, aka the cheesily named Darth Shawn, and we got a new episode of Rebels last night. Season 2, Episode 4, Brothers of the Broken Horn. A Clone Wars favorite returned in this episode, as we got the wannabe pirate king Hondo Ohnaka, and it was awesome to see him back. Hondo is just a fun character that brings a lot of very interesting aspects to the Clone Wars. How he interacts with the Jedi, the Sith, younglings. They used him in just great ways in Clone Wars, as he was a very, very thoughtful character, a character that's consistently making new plans and always out for himself. But this is a little different Hondo. He still is out for himself. He's still always manipulating, but unlike in Clone Wars, where he had his crew and his gang, and basically he was the pirate king, and he was able to amass treasures and money and people around. He's by himself in this episode, and he's a slightly different Hondo through that, because he's looking for kind of to fit in this new Empire-run world, and it was really cool to see him again, as he is, I said, just a fun character. Overall, this episode it was mediocre. It had some great parts, and then kind of some down parts, and it was kind of just a uneven episode, but seeing Hondo again was just awesome. At the center of this episode, though, is Ezra. This is his episode, his story, as we're starting to see what he's going to really look like in this season. And that also lies the problem with this episode. I said, it's a good episode. It's got a lot of great moments, but the problem is everything feels a little rushed when it comes to Ezra. It opens with him doing shooting practice with Rex, and then he's supposed to go to Jedi practice, and he's getting all irritated, with these things, and it just feels so quickly rushed, considering how much Ezra over the past couple of episodes has been, we got to go save people, we got to go do this, we got to be all over, and he did never seem frustrated these things, and then suddenly in this episode, he's frustrated. I kind of get that maybe the Inquisitors shook him up a bit, and we saw that at the end of the last episode that, wow, there are two Inquisitors now chasing, and there's a little bit of that in the episode that he's like, well, maybe this life, as he's debating the pirate life, which might have been his life had he not met the Ghost Crew, Kanan and Hera and all them. But it just needed more development, I felt like. This whole storyline is okay in one episode, but Ezra's jump to just immediately frustration felt a little quickly, and I would have liked a little more development of that. So maybe it could have taken a few episodes later and we just see a little bit more of Ezra leading up to it. In the end, it's a minor complaint as a whole. The episode would have flowed a little better if Ezra hadn't just taken these quick jumps. That all being said, I still enjoyed Ezra in this episode. His willingness to continue to help is seen as he's trying to go answer a distress call from Vizago, who he owes a debt to from season 1. Maybe it can give him some help as they're trying to get these generators. Maybe there's something, but he's mostly just trying to get away. But he's going off to try to help Vizago. Turns out Hondo's now got control of the ship, and Vizago's nowhere to be seen. He teams up with Hondo, and we see some other characters coming back in. The back and forth between Ezra and Hondo is really, really well done. Ezra tries to lie to him. Hondo goes along with it. The comments later on when Hondo learns that Ezra's a Jedi in training, he really brings out that greatness of that understanding of Hondo and the Jedi in the Clone Wars, so much so that he says, my best friend was a Jedi. Well, at least I think we were friends, referring to Obi-Wan Kenobi and that back and forth relationship they had in the Clone Wars. And that was really, really cool to see. As the episode evolved on and we get the return of the really boring character as Morgan, and then Vizago returns and there's whole fights and things. As a whole, that part of the episode just didn't always work. It just kind of was thrown in. But when Ezra is talking and he's back and forth with Hondo, the episode really, really is strong. And that shows off that Ezra is more than just kind of your average Jedi. He does have this pirate side to him, which is really cool to see. He is kind of a little bit of that Han Solo, the Hondo type. Like, he was more of the willing to do whatever it takes, and he's learning more and more to be in control of himself, but that element of him still comes out. I think another thing I really didn't like in this episode was Chopper. I'm actually a pretty big fan of Chopper. I know there are people out there that don't love Chopper. They're kind of mixed. He's kind of a little bit of the prequel R2-D2 at times, and that can annoy people. I think he's a very interesting, funny part, and he's more comic relief for the kids, and this is a Disney show, and I like him. But in this episode, it just didn't work. Like, he's grabbing weapons and firing, and he's just flying around, and it was all kind of nonsensical, and it's just not something that I really wanted to see necessarily. I like Chopper being the sarcastic, annoying droid. I don't necessarily love him being the, crazy hero droid that they kind of made him out to this, and that was kind of a little bit of a downer. But as a whole, that's a minor complaint, and only a little element of the episode. In the end, this is the weakest episode we've had this season so far. That being said, there's a lot of cool things that can come out from it, and also, like, Season 1 had a bunch of filler-type episodes that then tied in and were really important later on in the season, so I can see that maybe Hondo or what Ezra has done in here, or even as Morgan, can maybe have a little bit of more purpose going forward in the series as the season progresses. But right now, this episode doesn't have a lot tremendously to offer and was the weakest. So what did you guys think? Did you like the episode? Did you kind of think it was more middle ground like I did? Let me know in the comments below. As always, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I am Shawn Redman, aka the cheesily named Darth Shawn, and may the Force be with you. Always.